age of the traveling circus, the arrival of a sideshow was like a lightning bolt of excitement in sleepy towns. Brightly painted banners promised the extraordinary, luring people to step into dimly lit tents where the unusual and uncanny awaited. Inside, audiences encountered the impossible: conjoined twins, giants, bearded women, and alligator-skinned performers who seemed to defy the natural order. These so-called freaks weren't just performers. They were living enigmas, embodiments of curiosity, awe, and fear. For many of these performers, the circus wasn't just a stage, it was a refuge. In a world quick to reject them, they turned their uniqueness into a living, challenging stereotypes and captivating audiences. Today we're diving into 15 of the most captivating and hidden stories of circus sideshow legends, tales that challenge our understanding of history, acceptance, and the human spirit. Number 15. Frank Lentini. Born in 1889, Frank Lentini became one of the most iconic sideshow performers of the 20th century. Known as the three-legged wonder, Lentini's condition made him truly unique. He had 3 legs, 4 feet, and 2 functioning sets of genitals, a combination that drew both awe and uncomfortable questions. Despite the curiosity surrounding him, Frank wasn't defined by pity. Instead, he turned his differences into a celebrated career. Frank performed with major circuses, where his charm and humor often stole the show. Remarkably, he lived a happy, fulfilling life outside the spotlight. He married Teresa Murray, with whom he had 4 children, all born without abnormalities. His humor about his condition endeared him to audiences, answering even the boldest questions with a smile. Lentini's legacy remains one of self-acceptance and triumph, a testament to embracing what makes us different. Number 14. Schlitzie the Pinhead. Billed as the last of the Aztecs, Schlitzie's real story began far from Mexico, likely in the Bronx in 1901. Born with microcephaly, Schlitzie had a smaller brain and skull, along with developmental disabilities. Despite these challenges, he became one of the most beloved sideshow performers of all time. Schlitzie's unique personality and genuine joy endeared him to audiences across America. He became a star of Todd Browning's 1932 cult classic Freaks, solidifying his place in pop culture history. Off-stage, he was cared for by fellow performers and was often seen laughing and dancing, living in his own happy world. When his performing days ended in 1968, Schlitzie's charm and warmth continued to resonate. He passed away in 1971 at the age of 70, leaving behind a legacy of joy and resilience. To his fans and friends, Schlitzie wasn't a freak, but a beacon of pure humanity. He was a kind soul without any selfishness. Number 13. Annie Jones, the Bearded Lady. Born in 1865 with a full face of hair, Annie Jones became one of the most famous sideshow performers of her time. Her condition, likely caused by hirsutism, earned her the moniker, the Bearded Lady. By the age of 1, she was already a part of P.T. Barnum's American Museum. Barnum, recognizing her star power, signed her to a lucrative contract that set her career in motion. Despite her fame, Annie's life wasn't without its challenges. She was once kidnapped by a phrenologist who tried to exploit her for his own show, claiming she was his child. Fortunately, she was reunited with her parents after a dramatic court case. Annie didn't just embrace her differences. She fought to change perceptions. She campaigned against the use of the word freak and showcased her musical talents alongside her bearded persona. Sadly, she passed away at 37 from tuberculosis, but her story endures as one of strength and individuality. Number 12. Grady Stiles, the Lobster Boy. Grady Stiles Jr. was born into a family with a rare condition called ectrodactyly, which fused their fingers and toes into claw-like shapes. Known as the Lobster Boy, Grady joined his father's sideshow act as a child and later performed with his own children as the Lobster Family. While his stage presence drew crowds, his personal life was a nightmare. Grady was a violent alcoholic who terrorized his family. In 1978, on the eve of his daughter's wedding, he shot and killed her fiancé in cold blood. Despite confessing, Grady avoided prison due to his disability and was sentenced to house arrest instead. In 1992, after years of abuse, his wife Mary hired a hitman to kill him. Grady was shot in his trailer, bringing his tumultuous life to a tragic end. Only 10 people attended his funeral, and his death remains one of the most notorious tales from sideshow history. Number 11. The Hottentot Venus. Saartjie Sarah Bartman, famously known as the Hottentot Venus, captivated 18th century audiences with her distinctive features. Europeans were obsessed with so-called African exoticism, which often blurred the lines between curiosity, exploitation, and cruelty. Sarah's life was anything but glamorous. Lured by promises of wealth and fame, she left her homeland in South Africa only to find herself paraded around Europe like an exhibit. She was caged, ogled, and treated less like a person and more like an artifact of entertainment. Even in death, Sarah's indignities continued. Her remains were kept in France, displayed in museums long after her passing. It wasn't until 2002, following a plea by Nelson Mandela, that her body was returned to South Africa for a dignified burial near her birthplace. Today, Sarah Bartman stands as a symbol of resilience and a stark reminder of the inhumanity many endured in the name of spectacle. Number 10. Fedor Jefticheu, Jojo the Dog-Faced Boy. Known as Jojo the Dog-Faced Boy, Fedor Jefticheu became one of P.T. Barnum's most famous attractions. With hereditary hypertrichosis, a rare condition that caused excessive hair growth over his body, Jefticheu's appearance was marketed as extraordinary. Brought to the U.S. at 16, Barnum fabricated a backstory claiming that Jefticheu and his father were wild men captured in a forest. Jefticheu's father, who shared his condition, was depicted as a savage who couldn't be tamed and met his end in the process of capture. In reality, his father was a fellow sideshow performer who succumbed to alcoholism. Despite his fabricated narrative, Jefticheu quickly won audiences with his charm and intelligence, speaking multiple languages. On stage, he was required to bark and growl like a dog to fit his wild boy persona. Tragically, his life was cut short at just 35 when he died of pneumonia in Greece, leaving behind a legacy as one of the most fascinating sideshow performers. Number 9. Fannie Mills, Ohio Bigfoot Girl. Fannie Mills captivated audiences with what was described as the largest feet on Earth. Weighing only 115 pounds, her feet measured 19 inches long and 7 inches wide. Her condition, later identified as Milroy's disease, caused significant swelling in her lower limbs, forcing her to wear pillowcases as socks and goatskin shoes. By the 1880s, Mills decided to turn her condition into an opportunity, joining the sideshow circuit under the name Ohio Bigfoot Girl. Circus promoters created sensational stories about her life, even falsely claiming her father offered $5,000 to any man willing to marry her. The truth was far less dramatic. She had already married William Brown in 1886. Her performances drew huge crowds, earning her as much as $150 a week. However, after a miscarriage in 1887, her health began to decline, and she retired in 1892. Mills passed away at 39, remembered for her unique story and resilience. Number 8. Myrtle Corbin, the Four-Legged Lady. Myrtle Corbin turned heads wherever she performed, earning fame as the four-legged girl from Texas. With a rare condition called dipygus, she had 2 pelvises and a smaller set of inner legs, which she could move but not use for walking. Her father saw the curiosity she sparked and began exhibiting her as an infant for a dime. At 13, Corbin joined P.T. Barnum's Circus, later performing with the Ringling Bros and other major sideshows. Her personality charmed audiences, and she became one of the most successful performers of her time. By 18, she had amassed enough wealth to retire. Corbin married James Clinton Bicknell, a doctor, and had 5 children. It's said that 3 were born from one pelvis and 2 from the other, a testament to the remarkable nature of her condition. Corbin lived a quiet, private life after retiring. Number 7. Ella Harper, the Camel Girl. Ella Harper earned the nickname the Camel Girl because of her distinctive gait caused by congenital genu recurvatum, a condition that made her knees bend backward. Her unique walk caught the attention of circus promoters, and she became a star attraction in W.H. Harris's Nickel Plate Circus in 1886. Promotional posters described her as the most wonderful curiosity on earth, and audiences were fascinated by her unusual movement. Harper was both a performer and an inspiration, showing incredible poise and grace despite the challenges of her condition. After a successful run with the circus, Harper expressed a desire to leave the sideshow world behind, stating her intention to pursue education and a different career path. Beyond 1886, little is known about her life, but her brief stint in the spotlight left a lasting impression, demonstrating how individuality and resilience can shine even in the most unconventional circumstances. Number 6. Ella Milbauer, 586 pounds of feminine charm. Ella Milbauer, famously billed as 586 pounds of feminine charm, was a celebrated sideshow performer with the Ringling Circus in the late 1950s. Sideshows often used visual contrasts to captivate audiences, pairing performers of vastly different appearances, such as a fat lady alongside a human skeleton. Milbauer stepped into this tradition when she joined the circus in 1956, taking over for a previous performer known as Alice from Dallas. Her career began during a period when sideshows were losing their popularity, making her short 5-year run a testament to her ability to draw crowds. Despite the dwindling interest in sideshows, Milbauer left a lasting impression, earning a spot in Drew Friedman's 2011 book, Sideshow Freaks. Fat women in sideshows were often undervalued compared to other performers, earning less and receiving fewer accolades. However, Milbauer's enduring legacy as a sideshow icon reflects the cultural fascination with her unique presence and charm, even in a declining era of circus attractions. Number 5. Millie and Christine McCoy, the Two-Headed Nightingale. Millie and Christine McCoy, born in 1852 and conjoined at the hip, became famous as the Two-Headed Nightingale. Their lives began under tragic circumstances as they were born into slavery in North Carolina and sold as infants to a man named James P. Smith for $6,000. Smith not only purchased the twins, but reunited their entire family and ensured they received an education in music, literature, and language. The sisters became accomplished singers and pianists, dazzling audiences with their talents for over 3 decades. Their nickname, the Two-Headed Nightingale, reflected their beautiful harmonies and synchronized performances. At one point, they even toured with P.T. Barnum, amassing considerable wealth. Tragically, much of their fortune was lost when a fire destroyed their belongings. In their later years, they lived in poverty until their deaths from tuberculosis in 1912. Despite their hardships, Millie and Christine left behind a legacy of resilience, artistry, and a reminder of the human spirit's ability to overcome adversity. Number 4. The 7 Sutherland Sisters. The 7 Sutherland sisters, Sarah, Victoria, Isabella, Grace, Naomi, Mary, and Dora, were much more than a circus act. They were pioneers of early marketing and beauty products. Known for their floor-length hair that collectively measured 37 feet, The sisters first gained fame as a musical act with the Barnum and Bailey Circus. Their performances ended with the dramatic reveal of their stunning tresses, leaving audiences mesmerized. Their father, Fletcher Sutherland, recognized the marketing potential of their hair and created the Seven Sutherland Sisters hair grower. Leveraging their circus fame as free publicity, the tonic became an overnight sensation, earning $90,000 in its first year, a fortune at the time. Though the sisters enjoyed lavish lifestyles for a while, changing fashion trends and poor financial decisions led to the collapse of their empire. By the early 1900s, they had lost everything. Number 3. Josephine Joseph, half woman, half man. Josephine Joseph was a staple of sideshow attractions, captivating audiences with the illusion of being half woman, half man. The right side of her body appeared masculine, with short hair and a strong man's leotard, while the left side embodied femininity, complete with long hair, makeup, and a gown. This striking presentation fed into the fascination with intersex identities. Though Josephine Joseph was likely a skilled performer rather than biologically intersex, she rose to fame during the early 20th century, eventually appearing in Todd Browning's 1932 cult classic film, Freaks. Sideshows often relied on gaffed acts, exaggerated or fabricated presentations to draw crowds, and Josephine Joseph's act was no exception. Little is known about her life outside the sideshow circuit, but her stage presence and carefully constructed persona made her one of the most memorable performers of her time. Number 2. Mary Ann Bevan, the world's homeliest woman. Mary Ann Bevan's life was marked by tragedy and resilience. Once considered attractive, Bevan developed acromegaly, a rare condition that causes abnormal bone growth in her 30s. This drastically altered her appearance, leaving her with enlarged facial features that made traditional employment nearly impossible. After her husband's sudden death in 1914, Bevan, now a widow with 4 children, entered and won a Homeliest Woman contest to support her family. She parlayed this title into a career in sideshows, performing at the Coney Island Dreamland Circus and with the Ringling Brothers Circus. Though her appearances often drew cruel reactions, Bevan faced her circumstances with strength, using her earnings to provide for her children. She passed away in 1933, but her story resurfaced in 2006 when a British doctor protested the use of her image on a mocking greeting card. The incident highlighted the ongoing importance of treating individuals with dignity and respect, even posthumously. Number 1. Julia Pastrana, the Baboon Lady. Julia Pastrana, often billed as the Baboon Lady, captivated audiences with her unique appearance and talents, but her story is one of profound exploitation. Born in Mexico around 1834, she had congenital generalized hypertrichosis terminalis and gingival hypertrophy, conditions that caused excessive hair growth, enlarged gums, and a prominent jaw. While her physical traits made her a medical curiosity and sideshow sensation, they also subjected her to relentless objectification. Pastrana toured internationally, performing songs, dances, and theatrical acts, often dressed in elaborate gowns to contrast her masculine features. Despite her success, she endured invasive medical examinations and constant scrutiny about her gender. Tragically, she died in 1860 after giving birth to a son who inherited her condition. Both were embalmed and displayed posthumously, a haunting reminder of the dehumanization she faced. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you very soon.